What is up, everybody, and welcome back to 40 Runs. I'm just back from my run and I wanted to give you sort of 3 reasons after that why I don't think you should be buying these. The Hoka Carbon X3. And welcome back to 40 Runs HQ. Now, are you a Hoka fan? Which pair of Hokas are you currently in? Maybe you're already a fan of the Carbon X series. Let me know in the comments. Very interested to know your feedback on what you think about the Carbon X series and Hoka shoes in general. A lot of people always mention in the comments about durability and yeah, all that kind of stuff with Hoka. There's always some ifs and buts surrounding them. I do think this year in 2022, they've tried to up their game, so mad love to Hoka. I think they've also tried to address some of the issues in terms of durability and things like that, and we'll see how that goes over the course of the year. But in fairness to them, they've tried to start the year strong. But that said, like I said at the start, in this video I'm going to be giving you 3 reasons why I don't think you should buy this shoe. So here it is, the brand new Carbon X3 from Hoka. This is well, I don't really know what it is. This is the problem that I have. But it originally started out as like a carbon racing shoe. And most people, I think, actually end up buying it as a training shoe. And it's kind of in that sort of, I don't know, it's in that sort of no man's land of, is it a super shoe, racing shoe, or is it a daily trainer, you know, for those sort of faster sessions? I don't really know where Hoka are thinking that this shoe actually fits in, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit sort of about it, but we'll come on to that in a bit. So let's firstly get the stats and features done before we do anything else. Right now, before we do that, have you checked out the Long Run podcast? Make sure you do that. And the other thing that I want you to do for me before we do anything else actually is to subscribe to the channel. Why? Well, because I went the other day onto the analytics again. Now, I said about this in another video, and thanks to everybody who has listened to this advice and obviously subscribed. But it was still like 79% anyway of people who are watching these videos aren't actually subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave me today. And hit that bell notification. I really do appreciate it. It really helps the channel out as well as giving the video a thumbs up. Right, anyway, so stats and features of the X3. Okay, so stats and features. Right, so where do we start? Okay, talk about the upper in a minute. Profly X midsole. New, allegedly, version of the Profly midsole. We've got, it's a more supercritical, by the way, is the process in which they make it, but it's a supercritical EVA foam that's lighter and got more bounce in it, apparently. What I would say, actually, talk about the weight, I think it was just under 9 ounces, this shoe. Hang on, Mrs. 40 Scale's playing up. Yeah, it was 8.95 ounces, if I got it right, hang on. Yeah, 8.95 ounces, they were just playing up, and they are 253 grams, so yeah, definitely a little bit lighter, which is good news. You've got the rubberized EVA outsole. What else? Fitting. I would be careful with your sizing. UK 9.5 for me, as always on the channel. I would say just watch it. It feels a little bit long for me, but I don't know whether a 9 would, I think, be too small. And I think it's all down to the upper. We'll come on to the upper in a bit, but I just think the sizing, you've got to really watch it and you've got to really try and dial it in, because as you can see, I've been playing around with trying to really cinch it in, and what that's done is it's gathered up the knit upper. We'll come on to that in a second, but yeah, there's just something about the sizing I can't really get my head around. It's just, please be careful when you do get the shoe if you're going to get it in terms of your sizing. It's £160, 5mm drop on the shoe. Okay, yeah, I think that's about it. I want to talk about the upper. So the upper's the big change on the shoe, apart from, you know, the Pro X being slightly tweaked. But the upper is the big difference here. They've gone to a full knit upper. It's got this one-piece boot construction. The tongue is fully integrated. You've got this, sorry, I should have turned my phone off before we done the video, but you've got the whole construction is one piece and it's an upper. They've got some structure added to the medial side here, I would say, and a little bit along the lateral side as well. But there's a lot of flex in this upper. It's very thick. I don't know how this is going to be in the summer. If you get this shoe and it's in the summer, I think you're going to really regret it. But also, I think one of the big problems with this knit, because it's one of these really thick knit uppers, is that when it gets wet, this thing is going to increase in terms of weight, and I'm not sure that's going to be that enjoyable. Also, because you've got this flex here in the tongue, see that, where it's the knit upper, the fitting around the whole heel area, hopefully you saw it in the B-roll, it just felt big, and it felt, I don't know, I feel like I was wearing a really thick jumper that was too big for me on my feet. If that's a good reference, I don't know. But yeah, there's something not quite right with this upper. And that's the first reason why you shouldn't buy the shoe. I said I'll give you 3. The first reason I wouldn't buy the shoe is because of this upper. You can see where I've had to sort of gather it up. And even around the toe, it just, I don't know, because you've got like this sort of rigid bit around here. It's just not a very comfortable upper. It really isn't. They've really mucked it up in terms of the knit upper. Knit uppers, if done well, are nice. And I think back to the Epic React. Do you remember that one? Oh, I had a grey pair, fantastic. And then we had, going back even further. Do you remember? Oh, going back now. I think it was it the Lunar Epic? That like one big boot. I had like a pink purpley pair, one big boot with the Lunathon out. So anybody can have a pair of those, let me know in the comments. And that was a great upper. It was like a sock around your shoe. It was really around your shoe, around your foot. It was just a really comfortable upper. This thing is not comfortable, and it's got too much flex in the wrong places, and it's too sort of rigid in the wrong places. I don't know, they've really mucked up the upper here. The second problem, and the second reason why I wouldn't buy this shoe, is at £160, I don't see why or how you would justify spending that sort of money on this, because I don't know what it's really for. Is it a racing shoe? Probably not. Is it a training shoe? Maybe yes, but can you justify £160 on a training shoe that maybe is limited in terms of what it can and can't do? It's a funny one. I do like, right, so let me just put a couple of likes out there. I do like the transition heel to toe. I do like that from the shoe. I like the fact it's actually a little bit firmer than some of the other shoes out there. A lot of people moan about some Hokas being a little bit sort of softer. But actually, I kind of like what they've done here with the Pro X. I like the sort of, I don't know, the way they blended bounce with sort of firmness. Contradiction in itself, but I don't know, I do like that. And because it's got the carbon plate lower in the shoe, the rigidity of it is quite nice. You do get a nice stable ride through the shoe, so give some kudos to Hoka. But I go back to what I was saying, is at £160 for a shoe that I don't really know where you would wear it and why you'd wear it, it's hard to justify, especially when you've got the Rocket X, which is cheaper. I think if this shoe was £130, then maybe it comes into a different conversation. And the third thing that I don't like about the shoe is the fact of you can buy both of these. Now, I've only been wearing this shoe for a week, right? So, put it straight out there, my opinion is limited, right? Put it straight out there about what I have and haven't done in the shoe. So, you know, we've done various paces, we've done various runs in it, but I appreciate 100% that actually my running in it's been limited to the shoe. So put that straight out there. That's transparent as always. But because when you get the shoes like we do here on the channel, you kind of know when you put a shoe on what it's about to a degree. Some shoes come into their own a lot, and funnily enough, with some Hokas, they do tend to get better over time. And there's some other shoes out there that do get better over time, but you kind of know those now. But I put this on because of the problems with the upper. It was just like, ugh, it was really frustrating. And when I think about the fact that I've got these two shoes in the garage, it just made me think, why do I need to wear the Carbon X3? So here we've got the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. Now these have become a little bit more available. They're still not as available as the other shoe that I showed you a second ago. This is in Saucony Dolphin Pro, by the way, 2. I'm just going to weigh the Puma, 212 grams, and that's 7.5 ounces. Super lightweight, but this has got a carbon plate in it, or I think it's called the Inno plate actually, but it's got a carbon plate in it. We've got the Nitro foam strapped to a sort of mono mesh upper. We've got some decent grip on the outsole, fits true to size. This shoe is £170, £10 more, but you can do so much more in this shoe. You could actually wear this over the marathon distance. For me, this sweet spot is over the half marathon distance. It's between, for me, it's between this and the Saucony Dolphin Pro Plus that I would wear over the half marathon distance in terms of my rotation at the moment. But this is a far better shoe in terms of fitting and feel and feedback and responsiveness than this. And I would much rather train in this thing, and I do train in this thing, probably too much actually, than the Carbon X3. And then we've got my old favourite, the Saucony Dolphin Pro 2. Now, I haven't really spoke that much about the Pro 2, but this is a shoe that is, I think I mentioned it on the Nike Street Fly, that I've been wearing for sort of long runs that are going into goal pace. This shoe for me has become mainstay part of my rotation now. It really has, and I've got another pair of these, and I'm just eating up miles in them. I absolutely love this shoe because it's a little bit more stable than the Endorphin Speed. Actually, let's just wait while I'm talking about it. But because it's got the carbon plate, it adds the rigidity. So with that little bit of pronation I do have, 8.2 ounces by the way, and this is £190. But if you get the first version, which there ain't much difference, you're talking 145, £150. But I've been using this as a training shoe. Now the Pro, this version, also suffered, I think, a little bit of what the X3 suffers from, which is what actually is it there for? Because it's not really a super shoe. If you was going to run a marathon in it, you'd probably go Nike Zoom Fly, Next Percent, or you'd go like Alpha Fly, personally. Or maybe you go to A6 Metaspeed Sky. So you probably wouldn't necessarily go here. And I know with the Pro 3, they're changing that up. But the Pro 2 is an awesome weapon to have as a training shoe as well into that half marathon distance. And I just think it offers that little bit more in terms of fit, upper, responsiveness, especially with the speed roll. You've got the Power Run PB in the shoe. You've got a reasonable upper outsole on the shoe as well, probably better compared to this as well. And I just think this is a more complete package than the X3. So they are my sort of 3 reasons not to buy the X3. You've got the fit, and the upper is a major boo-boo from Hoka. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they were just like, oh yeah, I've got a great idea, let's stick a knit upper on it. Who thought of that? I think the sort of purpose and price of the shoe at £160, why would you spend that on something that you're not sure what it would be doing in your rotation? And then the sort of third reason is you've got 2 very good alternatives, at least 2 alternatives. There's probably more out there. Let me know in the comments. See, you could argue, and I've got it here, you know, you could argue that the Speed 2 is a better alternative. Now, that's the reason I left that out of this video, because that's got a TPU plate in it, other than the carbon plate, which is in these 2. So again, you could say, why not buy the Speed 2? Do you see what I mean? That's £155. See what I'm saying? So this is the problem with this shoe. Now again, I totally understand you're going to all rant and rave, oh, he's only had it on a week and all this sort of stuff. But I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The upper is terrible, and I don't see why you'd want to buy it. I really don't. So maybe save yourself some money, save yourself some time. Check out other reviews from other shoe tubers, and talk to your local running store and try it on in there and see what you think about it. But for me, you know, this could even be one of the worst shoes of 2022. I know it's early days, but I don't know. It's just, what were they thinking when they put this knit upper on it?